On the morning of June 29th, 2026, I ventured up to Scranton, Pennsylvania with my pap to visit the Steamtown National Historic Site for the second to last day of the Big Boy Reunion event. We arrived around 8 o'clock, waiting for about an hour in the Steamtown Mall for the doors to open. To occupy myself, I took some photos of the cars and locomotives on display which were visible through the windows, including an assortment of old coaches, rusted locomotives and cabooses, Canadian National 282 Mikado type steam locomotive 3377 built in 1919, which is now used as a parts donor for other locomotives, and Nickel Plate Road High Hood GP7 514 built in 1957. Once the doors opened, we began the walk across the bridge overlooking the various historical pieces of equipment. On the left side of the bridge were the coaches and the two diesel locomotives from the Union Pacific America 250 Coast to Coast Tour. As I was walking down the ramp, the Delaware-Lackawanna BR1 crew was picking up Delaware-Lackawanna 1776 to prepare it for excursions in 2 days. At the base, I got a good view of the rear of Reading Company 484 T1 2124, a sister unit to the famous Reading Blue Mountain and Northern 2102, sitting next to the 5 Delaware-Lackawanna locomotives on the BR1. Right behind the 2124 were the two prizes of the day, Union Pacific 4012 and 4014. Both are 4884 big boy locomotives, with 4012 being Steamtown's own and 4014 being owned and operated by Union Pacific. Both locomotives were built in 1941. The initial crowd by the big boys was a bit large for photos, so I opted to go to the Roundhouse instead. Inside the Roundhouse were many cool locomotives. First up was 040T number 2, built in 1937 by the H.K. Porter Company. 2 worked for various companies over its service life, switching countless carloads and yards. Moving to the right was Delaware Lackawanna and Western 426, a pre-production SC switcher built in 1935 by Electromotive Company, a predecessor to the modern Electromotive division. Continuing right was Nickel Plate Road 190, a former ATSF PA1 locomotive, restored to look like one of the Nickel Plate Road's PA series locomotives. The unit occasionally runs on the Delaware Lackawanna for excursions. On the end of the right side was a similar locomotive to the number 2 seen before, being a 242T switcher built by Vulcan Iron Works in 1911, being number 7. Retracing my steps to the left of number 2 was Illinois Central Consolidation Type 280790. The unit was built by American Locomotive Corporation in 1903. Continuing to the left was Public Service Electric and Gas Company 6816, a 060F switcher from the H.K. Porter, built in 1923. On the far left are two more switchers next to each other. New Haven Trap Rock Company number 43, a 040T built in 1919, and E.J. Levino Steel Company number 3, a 060T built in 1927. I made my way over to the big boys after exploring the Roundhouse and the store, as most people were lined up to tour the cab of 4012 and no longer in the way of them. After shooting photos of the big boys, I walked over to the front of 2124 to catch a quick video of Delaware Lackawanna DL3 making a reverse move with a single covered hopper after dropping off a boxcar, then took some photos of the T1 itself. Before I left, I took some more photos of 4012 and 4014 as they rested next to each other. I wanted to get out as quickly as possible before the mob of people for the afternoon viewing would arrive. My pap-pap and I walked back to the parking garage to drive the roughly 2 hours over to the Norfolk Southern Harrisburg line to meet up with a friend.